Hey boys and girls, welcome to my review of the sandbox casual Christian educational game, The Binding of Isaac. I'm attempting to venture at least some of my content into other games than just League of Legends, and seeing as I've spent 440 hours playing Isaac instead of making videos, I reckon it's about goddamn time that I put my procrastination where my channel is and actually review the damn game. My perspective on this entire review is based on the game with both expansions. The premise of the game is simple. You're Isaac, but your mother is fucking delusional batshit crazy and she wants to stab you with a knife. And thus, you escape into the basement. Your goal is to get as far down as you can. Along the way, you'll acquire different passive or active items, consumables, trinkets, health and stat upgrades, and followers who help you in various ways. You'll use these upgrades to face a multitude of monsters and bosses. The more of the game you complete, the more items, floors, bosses, and characters you unlock. The further down you get, the harder the game gets. Both the regular monsters and bosses get significantly more difficult. In the beginning it's baby nap time, but towards the end, it'll be more like... Some of the most enjoyable gameplay is getting different combinations of items through bosses, item or shop rooms, angel room or devil deals, or a few other various means such as secret rooms. It's incredibly satisfying to see your character's progression, and they really didn't limit themselves in terms of what's in the game. Let me give you an example. You can get stat upgrades that make you shoot tears faster. Great. But if you get Flaming Mind, you shoot fire tears. What if you get that and Quad Shot and Mysterious Liquid? That's right, you now shoot 4 toxic splash damage fire tears at a time. You can easily stack upwards of 100 items in one long run, and most effects don't override each other, they combine. One of my favorite item combinations is the active item the Blank card, along with the Jera rune, which duplicates all pickups on the floor including chests. All you gotta do to become ultimately powerful is make it to the chest floor with this combo and have a battery drop in one room and then a key drop in another room. Voila! You can now duplicate these chests infinitely, which all have a random item from the good item pools in them, and then duplicate yourself an infinite amount of keys. Alternatively, if you're lazy, what if I told you you could get every item in the game without moving a finger? Well, the item Steam sale will reduce the cost of everything in the shop by 50%. But if you manage to get 2 Steam sales, either by duplicating it using the item Diplopia, or through fighting greed and getting one in the shop luckily, everything will now effectively cost 0. And if you also manage to find restock, the shops will now restock an item whenever you buy one. For the cherry on top, you want to be lucky enough to also find the item Chaos. What does Chaos do, you may ask? It combines all of the item pools in the game into one. Normally this is a cumfuck RNG item and you might want to avoid it at all costs, but in this specific scenario, it constitutes one of the few ways you can, with very specific item combinations, completely break the game. All you have to do is just stand on top of one of the items and go do stuff for a while. When you come back, your character will have literally every single item you've unlocked in the game. You'll be able to kill most bosses in a single hit. Yet my very favorite item combination is much simpler. It's 2 items. It's the Devil Deal item Brimstone, which changes your tears to this giant laser, combined with the active item Tammy's Head, which shoots your tears in a few directions around you, or in this case, lasers. The recharge time of Tammy's Head is 1 room, and activating it can pretty much decimate an entire room. Although some items have incredible synergy, with some builds you just get to a point where the effects are just fucking ridiculous. Although the aesthetic of the game is generally pretty lighthearted, many aspects of the game certainly aren't. From the mere premise of the game where either A, Isaac's mother is a fucking psycho wants to stab him, or B, Isaac is very delusionally schizophrenic and mentally ill. The creator of the game, Edmund Macmillan, said that he wanted to explore how religious zealotry could negatively affect a young child. And that mixed with personal experiences from his own childhood are what influenced some of the major themes in The Binding of Isaac. You can make deals with the devil where you give up your heart containers, become more evil and get devil room items, or you can go the other path and get angel items. Depending on your choices, there's different floor paths, where you can end up going the route that's thematically inspired by heaven, or the route that's thematically inspired by hell. A lot of the monsters in the game look similar to Isaac, and he fights them off with his tears. It's almost as if Isaac is fighting off his own demons. The items he needs to survive distort him, and he doesn't ever escape the basement, he just goes deeper and deeper. Some of the art design might look a bit childish at first glance, but the game is absolutely no stranger to adult themes. You've got bosses representing the 7 deadly sins. There's a pill which will induce hematemesis, which is the vomiting of blood. There's a boss and playable character called Blue Baby, which is a reference to blue baby syndrome, in which a baby's skin complexion appears blue from a lack of oxygen in its blood due to a congenital heart defect. They named a consumable after the lemon party, which is a shock site featuring a group of elderly men performing oral sex. There's even a certain pill in the game, and if you take it, you just take damage, and it says, "Bad trip." I don't want to spoil any of the endings, but they certainly invoke quite the emotional response. This fantastic attention to detail and the implementation of all these themes adds so much to the experience. The game doesn't try to shelter the player, and it's extremely fleshed out. You can tell it's made by developers who've played their fair share of arcade games. Each time you start a game, the floor and loot is all randomized, and with the several hundred items in the game, you can get some very interesting combinations. Each run feels unique because your win condition is constituted by your build, and each run is unique. On top of that, there's like tons of stuff I haven't even mentioned, and I feel like it's all these little things that actually make the game, like character transformations. If you pick up 3 different Guppy items, you transform into Guppy, Isaac's dead cat, who can fly and spawns a blue fly each time one of his tears hits an enemy. If you pick up 3 different syringes, you'll become Spun, which is a large dose central nervous system stimulant reference, I believe. And if you eat 3 puberty pills, you'll become an adult. There's also a huge variety in rooms that can spawn. Each floor has 2 secret rooms that aren't visible on the map, and there's plenty of rooms that only spawn randomly. Oh, and why did I pause just now? Because that door that opened up right there leads to a section called Boss Rush, where you have to fight 15 waves of bosses. It's a special section that only opens if you beat Mom in under 20 minutes. Notice the timer. I am a god. Anyways, resume the gameplay footage. When you break rocks, there's a very tiny chance that they'll have a retro treasure room under them, and each retro treasure room has a 0.1 chance of making the black market appear. But I don't think it's just a good game because I autistically like all these little details. Your progression in the game feels organic and rewarding. The further you get, the more decked out the item pool gets, and the more tools you'll have at your disposal for getting even further. Now, I'm a bit of a perfectionist sometimes, so when I got into this game, I wanted to complete the whole game entirely. What I didn't realize is just how much replayability this game has with both the expansions. Let me take you through my process of completing the game. Once I got good enough to power through the first 5 floors of the game, I beat the first major boss, Mom, which unlocked the womb and utero floors for future runs. This is when I started taking notice of the progression note on each character. For each major thing you beat, a little icon will show up, for a total of up to 9 icons. There's an upgrade to the icon if you do it on hard, and you unlock twice as much shit, so no more baby nap time. I now have to complete this whole game on hard. I then beat the Mom's hard boss of the 7th floor 11 times, which replaces the boss with It Lives. Beating that lets me enter either Sheol or the Cathedral. I also refer to these paths as Heaven or Hell. Then I beat the boss of Hell, Satan, 5 different times, and the boss of Heaven, Isaac, 5 different times, which unlock the negative and the Polaroid, which now appear after the Mom boss fight. You pick one of the items to choose a path for that particular run. If you pick up the negative, you can enter the dark room after completing Sheol, or if you take the Polaroid, you can enter the chest after completing the Cathedral. This is a huge step. Why is that? Because the chest has Boss Baby. Sorry, it has the boss, Blue Baby. Beating it unlocks the character Blue Baby. Why do we want this shit character that can't have any red heart containers and is generally gonna die over and over again when you're at the skill level? Because if you manage to beat the whole game to the Cathedral with him and beat Isaac, you unlock the D6 as the starting item for Isaac. Now the game just got so much better. You literally start with an active item that'll let you reroll other pedestal items. I don't think I need to explain why that is a huge upgrade. I then went on to defeat the lamb in the dark room. After that, I noticed this giant golden door that appears in the chest in the dark room. I then completely, without using google.com, used my own incredible deduction skills to find out that during a run, you need to run into 2 angel rooms, blow up the angel statues, fight the angel bosses, and get the 2 key pieces. Alternatively, you can also just be lucky enough to find the dad's key item, which can open any door. Anyways, behind the giant golden door lies Mega Satan. After beating Mega Satan, my thirst hadn't been quenched. I knew there was more to complete. Lo and behold, Boss Rush. If you manage to beat Mom within 20 minutes, a special door opens where you have to fight a multitude of bosses. 15 waves in a row, in fact, with just the items you've been able to acquire on the first 5 floors in under 20 minutes. I stopped maximizing each floor's potential and started playing on a timer. Then, if you manage to beat It Lives, that's the 7th floor, in under 30 minutes, it opens the Hush boss fight, the second hardest boss in the game. Once I beat Hush, it unlocked the Void for me, the final floor. In a normal run, it's not even guaranteed to open up after you've unlocked it. When you beat Mega Satan, there's a 50% chance of the portal spawning, and a significantly smaller chance on the bosses preceding Mega Satan. The Void is insanely big, containing multiple boss rooms, one of which will contain Delirium, the actual final boss of the game. I was so many hours deep when I finally got here, and did I feel divine when I had completed the Void? No, abso-fucking-lutely not. You see, as it turns out, Delirium wasn't the 9th icon I was missing. Defeating him only crumbles the paper. No, I needed to defeat the game's greedier mode to feel complete. So I played greedier mode as Isaac and finally managed to beat Ultra Greed. Lo and behold, a completed checkmark list. For one character. but there's 14 different characters in the game. So here we fucking go! One after one on hard mode for each and every character. I defeated It Lives, Isaac, Boss Rush, Satan, Blue Baby, The Lamb, Mega Satan, Ultra Greed, Hush, and Delirium. Except for one character. The Lost. The Lost without any upgrades is easily the most rage-inducing character in the game. The premise is that the Lost doesn't have health or anything. If he gets hit one single time, he fucking dies. I realized that the task before me was near impossible, seeing as Delirium can literally telefrag you in ways you can't dodge. So I took it upon myself to do some deep thinking without the use of Google.com, and came to the conclusion that I needed to donate 879 coins to the Greed Mode donation machine, which appears after you beat Ultra Greed. I should mention that in Greed Mode you need your coins for items that'll make you strong enough to beat it, so 879 coins through traditional means is a shitload of time. Alternatively, you can just be lucky enough to have a run where you have one of the few combinations in the game that'll let you have infinite coins, and be playing on a character you haven't defeated Greedier mode with, so the chance of the donation machine breaking is 0%. So I got the fucking 879 coins donated in the machine, and what did I get in return? The Holy Mantle as a starting item on the Lost. Now the Holy Mantle is a shield that'll tank one hit per room, making the Lost infinitely more enjoyable to play, seeing as you have to get hit twice now to die. I then played the Lost over and over and over and over again until I felt I got really fucking good at the game. Once you're really into Isaac, the Lost is one of the more fun characters. He can take devil deals for free since he doesn't have any health, and his flying plus spectral tears makes him a pretty good character. Once you've played the game for several hundred hours, there's no challenge in going through the game with the D6 on Isaac. Countless keyboards, noise complaints, and anger management classes later, I finally beat every single boss with the Lost. And I finally have every check mark on every character. Or so I thought. But as it turns out, I'd missed one essential thing. If you donate 1,000 coins to the Greed donation machine, you unlock the actual last character. The late game fantasy. The man. The myth. The legend. The Keeper. I foolishly believed that this was just a quick oversight. I beat this whole game with the fucking Lost. This is gonna be sunshine and happiness all the way. The motherfucker starts with triple shot. This is gonna be easy like Yeezy, baby. Little did I know at the time that the Keeper is a scumbag, asswipe rat bastard, and absolutely the worst guy ever in any game. He has 2 coins for health, and his health can't be increased past that, so you'd think he's sort of like the Lost in terms of difficulty. 2 hits per room for him to die and so on. But here's why I almost break down into an anger psychosis every time I'm reminded of the Keeper. The only way for him to heal is by picking up a coin, and unlike the Lost, it takes away his health if he takes devil deals. So he can't take any of the 2 health devil deals, and whenever he takes a single one, he's now 1 hit away from dying. He's extremely slow, he shoots extremely slowly, and it's just so goddamn fucking frustrating to die over and over and over again, and just waste so goddamn fucking many hours of my life! You'd think I'm over-exaggerating, but take a look at this clip right here. This was less than an hour ago when I was getting footage for this video. I'd spent a long-ass time getting this far, and I finally had a good build on the Keeper. I managed to run into one of the rarest and strongest items in the game, the Godhead. Yet because I haven't played Isaac in a long time, I forgot what the purple fires do. Just listen to my genuine live reaction. But eventually I manifested an extreme mastery over this game. I knew every single enemy in the game, their attacks, their movement patterns, and even though my mental health might never recover from the ordeal, inch by inch, I eventually defeated It Lives, Isaac, Boss Rush, Satan, Blue Baby, The Lamb, Mega Satan, Ultra Greed, Hush, and Delirium. And with my sanity hanging on by a thread, I could finally say that I had completed everything on everyone. Now, was I satisfied yet? Admittedly, yeah. I felt pretty damn good about that. But there was still more stuff for me to do. So now the task was to complete every single challenge in the game. I did that with the exception of a few that my girlfriend wanted to complete. After we did that, I felt that I'd already gone so far, I might as well try to full on complete the game and achieve everything. Did I 100% it? Fuck! Right now I'm sitting at 98% completion with 332 out of 339 achievements. Now, why did I quit? Because I spent 440 hours on this game, just to find out that a few of the achievements required to 100% it are complete and utter fuckery. One challenge will have you completing the daily challenge 30 fucking days in a row. And while almost being 2 hours into a run going for the rerun achievement, a bug transformed me into the Lost without the Holy Mantle, and I died on my 4th rerun. Honestly, I put this game down for a long time before making this review, and I've only gotten into playing it occasionally. The game was incredible for me, before I played it so much that it became a completion grind. Somewhere along the line this game corrupted me. And playing it was no longer about having fun and chilling out. Now it was just a repetitive, monotonous crusade to discover how incredibly stubborn I am. If you haven't played the game, I highly suggest you try it out, regardless of whether you're into this type of game. In fact, if you don't play dungeon run games already, I think you might enjoy playing it even more. I've had the game for almost a year and I still find myself going back to it, and that's after I completely grinded this game out. Isaac is very appealing regardless of who you are. It's one of the few games my girlfriend really wants to play with me, and I can highly recommend downloading the 2-player mod, throwing it on a big screen and plugging in 2 controllers. I think this game is conceptually brilliant, and I think that gameplay wise they execute it so well. The sound design and background music of the game and just the art direction in general is fucking phenomenal. And there's few flaws in the game that aren't subjective criticisms. I'd say it's one of the better games I've ever played in my life. I give The Binding of Isaac 332 out of 339. Fucking terrible. Atrocious.